Alright, hello everyone, my name is Disc, and in this video we have a 14 Halls of Infusion, and for the week we are Tyrannical, Bolstering, and Afflicted. So I'm going to try a shortened version of my typical video here in the front end. I really just want to talk about talents because I think that's important, and then get straight into the key. I do think the best way to play talents is with slight changes based on group comp and based on the key and the week cycle. So I wanted to quickly flash those and then talk about the key. All right, so here we go with our talents. There's really not much to talk about here if you are used to my videos. Quickly going down the priest side, I am playing Improved Purify. This is for the affix, and I use that with a true mouse over macro. Then I go straight down to the bottom, taking the bottom three down here. I am taking Star, although I'm not playing it as much. Jury's still out on that one. We don't really need mass with the change of a lot of the mechanics in here. So I am favoring a more defensive build these days. So I put 1 point into here just to increase my shield wall. And then I use Tithe Evasion as well. I think it does quite a bit to preserve my health, especially since I have a pretty good accuracy with catching executes. And then I do use Vampiric Embrace. I think this is the better choice for Tyrannical weeks, just a little bit more output. And then on the Discipline side, I think this is going to be my build going into the expansion as well. But Wheel and Woe is very powerful right now, especially with our shields being increased. So we can get a lot of play out of this one if we know our damage profiles. Obviously, we're going Mindbender. I'm playing 1 point of Rapture, not 2. Jury's still out on that one, but I think 1 is all we need just to coat the 4 of us that are not the tank. And then that's about it. So going into this key, I think some things to focus on are my targeting, where my executes are, getting my torments, pay attention to my rotation, pay attention to the timing of my spells, and also pay attention to the errors. I think we have quite a few in here that I call out. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and cut over to the key. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can talk about. I think we have some good plays in here. This is a Halls 14. I think this is a really good test for healers. I do think this place is quite healer dependent. Always like starting with a proc, just casting a Radiance even before the key starts, just to get it rolling. Fade on the open to get dots. Dots are usually the first order of business. Pain Set just to ease the transition. Also drop a Penance while I'm preparing just to spread the dots +2. Here goes Mindbender. Also worked in a Star. I'm making sure I'm on the Defender because they have the most health here. They will be standing out on purpose. I have them a darker red with my KUI nameplates. That was 7 Torments and a Star. I think this was a pretty good run. I don't think it was perfect, but sometimes when you fight for a win, you get really good examples. So, yep, you might want to replay that. I was about to say, this is a really good area to min-max your fear. Hard to say. So I feared the first one, and then it went away and expulsed again. But I have that trumpet sound loaded, a fixed location with the red bar tracking my interrupt points. There's one for Expulse. Everyone's getting cleaved here, so it's making my life a little bit hard. Let's see, here goes my second Mindbender. Damn, I missed my executes. That is okay. But yes, going into the War Within, executes are going to be really important. Targeting is going to be really important. So something like KUI, I think, is going to be your best asset in maximizing those elements of gameplay. It's really important that we see our execute ranges easily, and compared to some of the other solutions out there, KUI nameplates will shift the color of the health bar to white when in execute range. You can set it whatever color you like, but all my enemies are shades of red, and then they shift white when in execute range. So that's kind of something I'm always looking out for, to try and pick up this extra spells. That's really where you're going to get a lot of squeeze out of the spec, is when you can have those extra spell casts. Shadow Word Deaths are huge with our torments. Okay, let's see how this goes. Big pull, I have PI. Guys out. Penance early just to get my dots spread. Radiance for the proc. Mindbender, Mind Blast, Death, Penance. It is a change in my rotation. I'm casting Death before Penance. I think it's the right play, and I probably should have been doing that sooner than now. But I think it's better to put Death on cooldown before the channeled Penance. Something, I don't know quite what changed, but something with the Mindbender's counter changed, and it is a lot harder to get all of your torments. So we're always aiming for 6. When we can get 7 and 8, that's just a bonus. But if you play a different rotation, like maybe Penance first, Death second, it is quite a bit harder to get those torments. Here goes Mindbender. Let's see if I get all 6. Played a star for my ally. Okay, that was 6 torments, but 0 star. Let's see, I should be able to get another... Oh, I sent a Mindbender. Oh, missed my execute too. So it's kind of a little bit harder for me to call these things, but I think as a viewer it might be easier. I think something really important to pay attention to when you're watching my videos is my targeting. I think that's one of the reading between the lines elements of my gameplay that really helps the group. Strong targeting is really going to increase your output. Always switching for executes, and always switching targets to spread your dots with Penance. Okay, so I sent Vampiric Embrace with the first Mindbender. It is not a bad idea to go ahead and play spells early. This is going to be a long fight. Grab those guys. Mindbender is back, and we're in execute range. Ouch, I remember that. So I should have barriered there. I should have painted up myself. My personal wall was down. But it puts me in a bad spot. My Mindbender's not ready, so first order of business here is getting his CDR back. I think that was my only whoopsie though, so let's see if I can come back from that. I do notice... I quick dispels in this round. I think I send a Mindbender here too, yeah. I don't typically send a Mindbender in this ad phase, but I think it worked out. Torments. Yeah, I was saying I have this rhythm where I try and only rely on Mindbender, and sometimes on Tyrannical it bites me in the butt. Okay, so barrier plus shield wall. We're in execute range, so things are a lot easier at this point. Then I usually like to Radiance, but I delay it as much as I can. Wasn't. I should have Radianced a little sooner. So what I like to do is before 2 people peel off from the group, I like to cast a Radiance just to give me the proc and make sure everyone's atoned. But that was a Rapture round followed by Mindbender. Picked. It's yeah, there's an early Radiance. It's quite a bit harder when you're the one that's selected. But I did get all 8 torments there for the win. Gripped him. Really sad. But you also might notice, might be easier to notice on the next Rapture, But I made this new weak aura. I don't use Improved Rapture, I just do the regular with 3 buff shields, technically 4. But above my player unit frame, I have a little shield tracker, and I think it's hella cute. And in this moment right here in party, I was saying I'm going to min-max res. Hold on. But he released. I don't know. I think there's a way to min-max every spell. And what I was going to do is at least come to the other side of the water and like part of the way up the steps for my mass res. I think that's the best way to res someone here. At least the most courteous way, so they don't have to go through the water also. Debatable, but a release is not the right answer. But coming in for the recovery, we're going to grip. Big grip. Radiance out of combat. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that more. The buff holds long enough. So basically, when you do it out of combat, you're giving the spell itself a chance to reset its cooldown to regain your mana. You still have the proc. We have PI here, let's see. Mind Blast, Death, then Penance. There's PI. There's Star while they're still alive. And so when it comes to targeting and making sure you're on the right person for your spells, so I think we understand the death part. It's pretty self-explanatory. You have to pick out the execute ranges, people sub 20. But when it comes to switching your target for penance, you never really want to cast a dot mid-combat. It's like a wasted global. You really want to use the utility of penance to keep your dots alive, like just with your targeting. Shadow Mail to get those whores off me. So just a rule of thumb is, you know, per Mindbender, double execute, per Minder we're getting 3 Dark Reprimands. If you want to just like a rule to follow, by the time I get to my 3rd Dark Reprimand, the dot on my active target is likely expired. So before the 3rd penance, if you just tab target someone else, it's a really good way to keep your dots alive, even if you're just guessing. So we have really good fear opportunities in here. Party of 5. So I'm going to dot 3. Uh-oh. Okay, so I like targeting the flame caller here. That was a fear on the elemental focus. I have the trumpet sound in the red fixed bar. Oh, I kind of messed up here with schisming the wrong person. I schismed a little guy. Only a little bit of loss. I still think I get all my torments, which is most important. Yeah, I got 7 torments, so who cares about the schism? But before the next round of ads, I really want my Mindbender back. And Blast, Death, Penance. I do like starring these guys, and I'm going to really spam for my next Penance, my next Torment. Missed quite a few torments there, but that's okay. I'm kind of just waiting. Execute. Start early. Wasn't going to move, I had CDR to get. And I missed those torments too. Yeah, it's really easy right now to miss torments. I think their change to the way the Mindbender's timer calculates is probably closer to what they intended. I think it was too easy to get all of your torments previously, and now it's something that's a little harder. Okay, so I have all my spells. I forget what I play first, but I have a proc loaded too. You really have to dump heals at the right time here. So a shield wall. We're playing the line strat back and forth. Good start, except I'm holding PI. That's cringe. Come on, play it, play it, play it. Okay, so I raptured. I didn't have my Mindbender yet. Radiance for the proc. Cleans up for the personal. Tried getting that last frog in with a grip. Didn't work. And it looks like I totally missed my PI here, which sucks. I have another opportunity right now, the Paladin. I haven't been playing as much, so a little out of practice, admittedly. So barrier, radiance on the top. There's a PI. Okay, so I have 10 seconds to kill until the next croak. I do have shield wall. Plus a shield on. With our single shields being buffed, really great use to just give it to yourself, I know. Okay, double execute. God, I missed double execute. This boss honestly can be a little stressful for me, so I don't think this is my best performance here. Radiance into double execute. Nice healthy shield on the Paladin there. Yeah, a single shield is buffed by Wheel and Will, which is my preferred end talent. It'll crit for like half of someone's health bars, so these single shields really pro if you kind of are on it with your damage profiles. Precast to Radiance, the Mindbender. I got 6 torments, so I did as much as I could to the dragon. And a Mind Blast to polish him off. Cast out as many as we can here, focus the dragon. Recast a Radiance and a Mindbender. So now the dot on my mob had expired. Switch targets for my final penance. And it kept my dots alive without having to press it. Okay, so an off Mindbender Schism. So per pull, generally you can only get 1 Mindbender, generally. But you can pretty much always get 2 Mind Blasts. So it's going to be really important coming into the expansion. Mind Blast uptime is going to be a really measurable way to increase your output. So, okay, for this boss, it is no joke. I forget exactly what happens, but I do turn off party nameplates here. This is one area where I want as little obstruction of my view as possible. Really important to see these ice cubes and making sure you are fully LOS behind them. I think the play went okay though. It honestly is a pretty hard boss. And your Mindbender is your best friend. You want to run it on pull. And just how you pair your additional spells is kind of what is going to make it or break it here. So, oh yeah, I grip him back saying, no. Radiance for the proc. Drink. Okay, so you want everyone atoned going into this fight because you want to Mindbender literally on pull.
We'll build a new world, free from their corruption.
So I Mindbendered with Vampiric Embrace on pull. Really trying to prioritize getting my CDR. That's going to be the biggest thing here. Mindbender's back. I like flash healing before I Mindbender. I do get 10% damage reduction from flash heal. That was still all 6 torments. We're doing good. Flash heal and shield myself. Trying to make it to my next one. This is where I start losing CDR. Paladins came in real handy with an extra heal. So I paints up myself and flash heal others. This is a really great way to buy time for my Mindbender. I'm looking at him at 10 seconds away. He was like 15 seconds away. The paints up just buys 8 seconds. Paints up myself, flash heal others. It's the binding heals. Here goes my Mindbender. I saw a barrier. Defensive pinch on myself just to buy a little time. 10 seconds on the Mindbender and 10 seconds on barrier. So that's a really great way to buy time. Now that we're in execute range, we should be Gucci. Seven executes. 7 torments, I mean. Oh, I missed that other PI. Rapture. Okay. So, apparently my PI uptime is horrible. But another thing I'm noticing, I usually have a macro for my Desperate Prayer, my Shield Wall, and Fade together. But it looks like I have those unmacroed for this run. So I am losing quite a bit of utility with my Fade not going off as much as I'd like it to be. But that fight I think is pretty hard overall. I think it's one of those fights where no one has the privilege to like not help. And having something like Paladin and Shaman in here to cast, you know, group-wide spells or defensives for the party, it's a big difference. Okay, thank God I played PI. So now my dot on my current target is dead. I switch targets, and that I missed. So I was trying to switch targets to make sure I pin it someone with a dot, and I tried. Didn't work out. I do bank a lot of talent points into increasing my dot's potency. But I do that because I think I'm pretty good at dot uptime. It's a really good place for a star. Yep, star them all. There's my execute. I'm trying to find a dot. I got my torments, but I did drop my dots. Could be worse. That shield, so big. Everyone's LOSing me. It's like What are y'all doing? We want to run Mindbender early. And I think pretty much with this girl, if you just pump your Mindbender and have that thing out like 95% of the time, naturally it'll cover the damage. But I do like putting shields on myself. Or precasting Radiance. I think that's what I did there. Missed my executes and dropped torments. Happens. A final mind blast just to kill her off, holding the Mindbender. So on a fight like this, I really like to rapture on the entry. Let's see if I rapture the team. Check out that weak aura. Okay, and you really just want to pump damage here. So Mindbender on pull, getting all my torments. My rapture was already pre-coded in the group, so I didn't have to waste time. I did it before pull. Okay, Mindbender is back. It gave the tank a nice little speed boost there when he was punted away. Here goes my second Mindbender. Generally, you can only get about 1.5 Mindbenders. And that's all that was. So even though he's at a 30-second reset right now, this FAP phase, it doesn't matter that I didn't get all my CDR. So Blaze of Light is a really powerful talent, if you ask me, because it will multiply with Feather. So Feather plus Penance on yourself. You are hella quick. Oh wow, I sent a Mindbender. I don't think I ever really do that. Let's see if it works out. Been a little ballsy. That's a good thing since we all just got hit. This is another great place for Fear Bombs. Not sure if I play a Fear. Okay, so we're about to enter the phase. I shield everyone just like I did last time. That way I don't have to waste globals while he's up. I go straight into Mindbender, getting all my torments. Nice shields helped the group. 6 torments. Speed boost on tank. Here's my second Mindbender. With a proc. I started tracking my weapon proc with that little electric sound and these little electric bars. I find knowing... I forgot about that. Next. Okay, I find when I know I'm proccing, I can min-max things a little differently. It doesn't necessarily like fully change my gameplay, but I do like seeing it. So that one there, you'd have to look at that again, but I think it was my weapon hurt me, plus Shadow or Death hurt me, plus the attack from the enemy. Sitting on 2 pain sups. I should just pain sup myself. I don't think I was quite in the rhythm, but one way or another, that was a good key overall, completed with plenty of time to spare. And died in the last 5 seconds, so that's a big rip. Let's see if I look at the damage. Resurrection instead of Mass Res. You don't see that one too often. Let's see. 114, I'll take it. Inescapable Torment, you expect to be on top, and then I think depending on the dungeon, Smite and Penance are going to fight for second and third. But that's... oh my gosh, what's going on? That's really what you want to see. Beyond that, I think it's... I mean, you can min-max each one of those, like Divine Star, for example. But, yeah, it's kind of what you want it to look like. And I think being above 100 is nice. And, yeah. So, I do think I'm going to try and revamp my channel going into the War Within. I plan on making a really good rotation video that can kind of act as a point of reference throughout the season. And I do want to keep making Mythic Plus reviews, and I'm going to try slightly reformatting things to make it a little bit easier for me to put out content. I like making videos and I really like the interactions and I like helping, but it's something that I want to be able to do more of with less time investment. So stay tuned for a change in format. If anyone has any suggestions, I'm all ears. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and until next time, Disc.